Hi everyone, myself Rashi Jain, and I work as a React.js React Native developer at Think Future Technologies. I hope everybody is safe and sound in this difficult pandemic situation. Just one thing I just wanted to let you know, guys, that I will be not able to access the chat box. So if anybody has any questions or comments, please bear with me. I will be able to check the chat box after completing my session. It will be great. Right? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, hi everyone. Let me start with my introduction first. Myself, Rashi Jain, and I work as a software engineer at Think Future Technologies India. I majorly work with React.js and React Native, and I almost have 3.5 to 4 years of experience in the industry. Currently, I am working as React Native developer. So today's session will be around how we can create a mobile application using React Native itself. So let's get started. So first, let me tell you about the topics of discussion which we are going to have today. The first is what is React Native. Like we'll be talking about what is React, how it works, is it a library, is it a framework, or what, how things work around React Native, what is the architecture of React Native. So all these things are coming up in this uh, area. After that, I'll be sharing prerequisites to run the React Native application on your system. So if you are a newbie to the system and you want to install React Native, you want to create your own application in React Native, how you can do that, and what are the prerequisite softwares, tools which you need to install in your system to get started to create your first React Native application. So first, after that, I'll also walk you through about application which will be running an iOS simulator, and it will be a simple hello world application. I'll just show you, and I'll just play with application to tell you about like how the React Native application works. And last, we'll be talking about the pros and cons of the React Native, like what are the difficulties which you will face in React Native, and what are the good things about React Native, which we'll be discussing in today's session. I hope you will enjoy my talk. So let's start with what is React Native. React Native is an open source mobile application framework created by Facebook. As mentioned, it is an open source mobile application framework which is created and used by Facebook itself. It offers fast mobile application development, more efficient code sharing across iOS, Android, and web. So, what happens is when you create an application in React Native, it will work for iOS, for Android, both with the same code base. So you do not have to write different code bases in the native languages. It will just, you have to write a single source of code, and it will get run in both Android and iOS. So that will be very good thing, and the human efforts are very less, the knowledge is very less required. It is built on top of React.js, which is a library of web application. So React Native is basically a framework which is built on top of React.js. And as we know that React.js is used to create web applications. If you want to create a single page application using React.js, and if you have the prior knowledge of React.js, React Native will be very easy to learn, because the basic concept, how a component works, how the app renders, these are the things which are similar in mobile and React.js. It is built on a hierarchy of UI components to build the JavaScript code. So what happens is when you build a application, what happens is there are small things. Suppose there is a login screen which you want to create in your React Native application. For that, what will you do? We'll create a text input for username, text input for password, there will be a submit button. So these three things you can call them components, and by making a tree like structure of these components internally, it will create our complete application. So we'll work small components, and we'll combine those components to create a complete screen, and by combining a lot of screens, we'll complete our React Native application. This is how React Native works. So let's talk about the prerequisites, like what are the tools, what are the softwares which you need to have in your system, what is the system setup which you need so that you can run your React Native application smoothly. So first, as we all know, React Native will work on Android And for Android, will be requiring Android SDK, Java, and simulator. So Android SDK is something which we require to run Android application. As we all know that Android is worked on the basis of Java, so we should have Java installed in our system. We must have JREs, JVMs in our system installed, and a simulator. So at the time of development, what you can do, you can install some applications for simulator. There will be a dummy mobile phone which will get installed in your system, and you can use that simulator to simulate your application, to test it, and whenever you get satisfied, you can release the app. But before that, you need to test it, and for the development purposes, you must have a dummy mobile phone in your system so that you can work with it on the development phase. And if you want all these things at once place, Android SDK, Java simulator, then the easiest way to do all these things get installed in your system is Android Studio. So Android Studio comes with Android SDK, Java simulator, platform tools, and other dependencies which is required for Android development. Android Studio is a complete package for it. So you do not have to worry about all these things to install separately. You just need to install Android Studio, get it set up, and just run the application React Native. I will walk you through how you can do it in Android Studio and how you can do it from the terminal. Next is Node. Node is nothing but a JavaScript framework which is used to create, it has a great dependency. So whatever npms you are going to install, whatever JavaScript you are going to return, it will finally be converted into Node. So that is why you have to have Node in your system. For installing Node, what you can do is you just install via going to the Node website. There is a link, you just need to download. There will be a DMG or file which you can download in your MacBook. Next is Xcode. So Xcode is what? Xcode is just an editor which we can use to create and develop the iOS part of the application. So Xcode you can install in your application from App Store. And in Xcode, what you will do, Xcode will also come with a simulator. Xcode will have the ability to release your application. If you want to run the application on various devices, you can do that. It will get built in Xcode as well. If you want to even deploy your application to TestFlight directly, Xcode will help you with that. The signing of the application can be done on Xcode. So Xcode is very important if it comes to iOS development. And in React Native also, we need to have do some kind of iOS development. So Xcode is a kind of necessity, I must say. Otherwise, you have to learn all the commands from the terminal, and you have to run Xcode commands also from there. Next one is React Native CLI tools. So React Native CLI stands for command line interface. What happens is there are some of the commands which you need to run, and for those commands to work, there is an npm called React Native CLI. So npm is nothing, it's a package which is already built for you. You can just download it by npm install React Native CLI, and after installing it in your system, what you can do is you will just run the commands of React Native. Like there are commands like React Native init, React Native run Android, React Native run iOS. So these commands will only work if you have React Native CLI tool installed in your system. It is not necessary to have, but it is good to have. If you do not have React Native CLI tool in your system, what you can do is you can use npx for it. So npx give you the provision that you do not need to install that particular package for which command you are using. You just write npx React Native and the command which you want to perform. After that, there is a boilerplate which you can create from for React Native. For that, you have also need to install a npm called Create React Native App. So this npm is easily available. This is also an open source npm which you can download in your system. And for this npm, what it gives you, it will give you a boilerplate. Like there are various kind of modules which are already there. You just need to add your JavaScript code into it, and if there is any requirement of native code development, then you can also do that. I hope I am audible and visible. Yes. Okay, great. So let's move forward. Next is Cocoa Pods. So as I also mentioned that there is a requirement of Node for the npms which we are going to use. Npms are nothing but the projects which are already there in the market, and you want to install it and use it in your system, you can do it directly. Cocoa Pods are like the small projects itself which work only for iOS. So Cocoa Pods is also a not necessary thing but good to have, because Cocoa Pods are like small projects if you want to integrate them into your app. Suppose you want to add push notifications in your project, what you will do, you will use the Google Firebase service for that, and for that Google Firebase service you will have an npm and a Cocoa Pod to access the React Native Firebase module, right? So that is why Cocoa Pods is not necessary but good to have. If you do not install the Cocoa Pods, then it is okay, you need to link the libraries and all, but Cocoa Pods I think is very much better. You do not have to do anything after installing Cocoa Pods. And last but not the least, we should have the basic knowledge of JavaScript and React. So as we all know that React Native works with JavaScript, we have to write the code of JavaScript or JSX to be precise. And we also know that React is a library on which React Native framework is created. So under the hood, React things like the render, how the app is rendering, how the component is working, how the life cycle of a component is working, what is the hierarchy of the components, and some of the basic stuffs which are similar like React JS. So if you have that knowledge, well and good. But if you do not have it, JavaScript and React can be learned simultaneously. So these are the prerequisites which you need to have in your system to get started with the React Native project. So let's go with the steps for Android. Like if you want to work with Android, and what are the steps, what are the first steps which you need to take to start your application in Android? So first of all, as we all know, there is a terminal in every computer. We'll open that terminal and we go to the location wherever we want to create our project, right? After moving to the location where we want to create our project, what we'll do, we'll write a command, React Native init with a project name. So here I have mentioned project name in capitals because this is the name whatever you like to give to your project. There are some constraints over the name, like you cannot add capital letters in it and you cannot add space to it. So there are some constraints by choosing the project name, but this is the command which will create a boilerplate for you, React Native init and the project name. So as I was telling you previously, that we need to have CLI tools. If we do not have React Native CLI installed in our system, then this command React Native init will not work. Rather, what you can do is you can add npx in front of this command, npx React Native init and the project name. What the command will do is it will create a folder for you, whatever name. Suppose I gave the name of my app. So what happens is it will give you a project folder with the name which you have provided for your application. Great. Now we have to navigate to that folder. So to navigate to that folder, we have to run another command in the terminal, which is cd with the name of the folder which you have given in the previous command. Like if you have given the name my_app, then you will write cd my_app. It will navigate to the your project folder. After that, after navigating to your project folder, what you need to do, you need to run another command, says React Native run Android. So this command will start the emulator, and it will start building up the application on your emulator, right? If you do not want to do or write React Native run Android, and you have Android Studio installed in your system, rather than installing the things separately, like the Android SDK, Java simulator separately, what you can do is you can open the Android folder. There is a folder called Android folder inside your project. You can open that Android folder in your Android Studio, and you can just run a play button from the Android Studio. It will start building up the project in your simulator, and the simulator will get open automatically. You do not have to do anything. You just need to open that Android folder into the Android Studio. That is it. So these are the things which is required to start our application in Android. Next is iOS. Same, the first two steps are will be similar for Android, iOS both, because uh, in the same we'll be running the same command React Native in it with a project name. It will create a folder for us. We'll navigate to that folder, and apart from running the command React Native run Android, now we will run the command React Native run iOS. So this command will create a simulator for you, and if you have Xcode installed in your system, or what you can do is you can just simply open, there is a file uh, with the project name .exe workspace in your system, in your project folder. What you can do, you can just simply open that file in the Xcode and press the play button. So this is the easiest way to create a iOS application, and you are good to go with your first React Native application, which will be running in your iOS simulator. So here, if I give you a live demo about the project. So I was talking about the folder which created. I have created application my underscore app. So this is the folder structure which get created for you by the command React Native init. So what happens is this folder structure get created in itself. As you can see, there is an Android folder. This Android folder you can open directly into the Android Studio and run the play button. It will work successfully for you. If you want to run the iOS project in the application, what you can do is you will run the iOS app. You will navigate to this. There is another folder with the name of my underscore app. And here you can see there is a XE workspace file. This file you can open in the Xcode, and it will get and play the and hit the play button. It will get start building up your application in the iOS simulator. So these are the easy steps. And if you want to do any kind of native coding, suppose you want to write any native module in your React Native application, what you can do is you can just simply start working on these Android or iOS folders directly if you want to add some native kind of stuff in your application. And here also you can see there are various .js files. So these are JavaScript files which is required to have. So first file which works with JavaScript is this file. So this is the pre-built file. I have written not a single line of code. This is already written file. When you run the React Native init command, this file is automatically get created, and the content of this file will look like this. If I reload this application, npx React Native start, I will just run this command, and I will start the application again. There is an option to reload. So when you press on reload button, it will start building in itself. I have already done the React Native run iOS and React Native run Android, because it will take a lot of time. So it will take a lot of time. That is why I just made a file for myself. I've just made an application for myself, and this is the first look which you will get in your application. So this is the pre-built page which you will get in the boilerplate. And let me show you, this is the application. There is no icon till now, but we can add icon to it in future, right? If you want to add the icon, you have to do it for Android and iOS separately. It is just a easy step. And one more thing which I want to show you, suppose if you want to add something, like there are various tags which is over here, like the section tag, header tag, safe area view, status bar tag. These are the built-in tags, and you can create your own tags as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm commenting this out, and I'm adding a text component over here, and I'm just saving this file. What happens is this hello is automatically get created. We haven't done anything. This hello is automatically added, and all the part which I have commented from here is get removed from the application. You do not have to reload, you do not have to build it again, you do not have to wait for a long time. So this is very great thing about React Native, that it is very fast for development. You do not have to wait for the build, and you do not have to refresh it by pressing any kind of button or something. If in some cases it may happen that it won't reload in itself, then in that case we have command R. So what we can do, we can just run command R and it will get restart again. So this is how the application works. Let me take you back to the presentation. So the pros, let's talk about some of the pros of the application and working with React Native to create mobile application. First, it is fast to build, because as we all know that only single source code is required to build the Android and iOS application. Rather than creating and increasing the development time, we can use single source code. So we have to write only once and it will get compiled to Android, and it will get compiled to a native code for Android, iOS as well. So it is very fast to build. It decrease approx 30 to 40% of time, apart from some of the native things which we need to implement, of course, in React Native as well. But even that, even doing that, it will decrease 30 to 40% of our time for the development. So which is very great in terms of, if you want to decrease your time of completion of the project, and if you are on a deadline, you can definitely think of working with React Native. Multiple platform with single code base. As I've already mentioned, that if we are creating a React Native application, we'll be only having a single code base. We have to maintain a single repository. We do not need to go for different repository. We do not need to go for creating different projects in our system. We just need to set up one single project and it will run for both Android and iOS. Next is fast refreshing. As I told you, fast refreshing is nothing but a feature which comes with React Native. So you do not have to wait or do anything. If there is any JavaScript change which you are doing in your application, then it will get automatically reflected to the simulator without doing anything. You are making any change in JavaScript file, as I showed you that I commented some part and I added some part, but that part is reflected in the mobile simulator in itself by doing nothing. I have done nothing. But if you are doing some native code, like there is some npm installs, you are adding some npms, then in that case definitely you have to start your application and you have to build your application again. But in case of JavaScript, no, you do not have to do anything. Next is small and easy learning path. So yes, this is true, because we do not have to learn and we do not have to worry about JavaScript, Kotlin, Objective-C, Swift. We just need to know one thing, which is JavaScript and some basic concept of React, and we are good to go. We are good to create a basic mobile application. If you want to add some more features which cannot be done in React Native, which are very less, but there are cases where we need to have the Android and iOS experience, but that is an eventual phase of the application. If you are if you are starting small, then the learning path is very less. Sometimes what happens is people try to start learning Android. They think that to learn with React Native, we need to learn Android, we need to learn Objective-C, we need to learn Kotlin, but this is not the case. If you know JavaScript, then you can definitely start with React Native, and eventually when your React Native horizon increases, you can go for Android and you can go for iOS, so that you can use those technologies to create your React Native application more efficient, more usable, more interactive, and more complex. And last but not the least, the large community. As we all know that React Native is so much large, the React community is so much large, that if you have any issue, if you have any problem, there is a large community on Stack Overflow, on Reddit. They have their own communities, they have their own channels on which you can post your queries. So if you find anything difficult, you can just post it on Stack Overflow and it will get just answered in a blink of an eye. So these are some of the pros of React Native. If I talk about the cons, difficulty to create very hard animations. Yes, as we all know that React Native is something which built on JavaScript, but JavaScript not run on Android and iOS. We have to create, it will get converted into Android and Kotlin. So that is why there is a slight delay in animations, which you can sometimes feel in React Native. So if the animations are very hard, very complex, then the smoothness and the performance may hamper the application. But this is a very rare scenario in React Native, but it is there. Lack of custom modules. So sometimes what happens is, if your application demand is that you have to create complex modules, and that module is not available in npm, in CocoaPods, then what you do, you'll have to create the custom native modules. Like for Android you have to make some development, for iOS you have to do some separate development. In that case, yes, you should have the knowledge of Android and iOS separately. It will be required. But these are the cases of very complex applications where the kind of work which you want to do is not available in the market itself, and you cannot achieve it with JavaScript itself. You have to do some native coding for it. In that case, the custom modules you have to create, and yeah, these are the case. Good to have native development knowledge. That is why if you have Android and iOS development knowledge, it will be very great. It will be very smooth work for you. But if you do not have the knowledge, you can gain it. You can learn about Android and iOS parallelly, and you can just start writing up your modules. You will get to use Android and iOS itself. So these, I won't call it as a con, but I will call it as a, downfall of React Native. Like if you do not know about Android and iOS, you have to work upon it. These are some important links, which if you have any questions about the documentation, about the environment setup, how you can do it, there is a complete guide which is written on React Native documentation in itself, and it is very informative. If you have any kind of query, you can just reach out to that and reach out to the documentation, and it is very well constructed. You can also follow me in LinkedIn. If you have any query, anytime, anywhere, it will get resolved, and I will try to help you as much as I can. So yeah. So if anybody has any kind of questions or any queries, I can take up them into the chat box. Let's start collecting some of the queries. I know it is kind of a very heavy session and very technical one. I'm happy to help if anyone has any query. Yes, publishing an application. For publishing an application in React Native, you have to have publish in two different formats. Like for Android, you have to create a production build, and there are some separate commands which you need to have, and it will create a separate APK file for you. Then you have to go to the Play Store and upload that APK over there. And if you want to publish the iOS application, you have to do it separately. You can do it from Xcode directly. You can create a production build from Xcode after signing the application and getting all the certificates. And if you get, there will be a file, IPA file, which you can download from Xcode and put that on the App Store manually. Yes, you can do it from Xcode directly as well. So there is an option if you archive your application from Xcode directly, and there is an option to publish your application to test flight. And if the test flight is successful, then you can directly release your application from Xcode itself. So next question is, so you can do the CI/CD? Yes, we can do the CI/CD part in React Native, but to set up the environment, there are various there are various platforms which provide you the CI/CD for React Native, because we have to set up the application in Android and iOS both. So that is why there are some paid things. You can also use GitHub Actions for that. So yeah, you can implement CI/CD for that for sure. I hope these things are getting answered well. If you have any query more, then we can discuss it more. Not sure if I missed it before. When should I use Angular, and when can I think of using React? So in React Native, you will be working with only React Native, not Angular. And React Native is a library which React Native is a framework which works on React.js itself. So you will be working with JavaScript code, and you will be using React.js uh, methodologies like the render function, the life cycle, the mounting, unmounting phase of the component, and the hierarchy of the component will be similar to React.js. I hope this answers your question, Zalak. Thanks, Olya and Zalak, for asking the questions. Happy to answer. And one more thing which I want to mention over here, I use Visual Studio Code for the for the development, like writing code. I use Visual Studio Code as the editor. You can also use the editor of Android and Xcode for using the writing the native modules, and just for writing the JavaScript code, you can use directly VS Code. I pretty much like it. Do you do you do things with JS workers, or that's only for PWD? JS workers are used for PWD, yes, and in React we can use JS workers, but in React Native, no. In React, definitely we can create our service workers, which like if you want to add notification in your web application, then you can use service workers. You can create a service for it and you can use that for the notifications. In React Native, there is a different scenario for notifications itself. I am just pasting my LinkedIn. Let me just paste my LinkedIn account over here if anybody has any questions. If anybody has any query, do follow me on LinkedIn. Do send me requests and your queries. I would be more than happy to help. I hope the women's and the amount of women's in the women in tech will reach and will break all the records in this 21st century. Thank you, Zalak. You can also reach me on Twitter. Let me also share my Twitter profile. I'll be more than happy to connect. Do we have any more questions or are we good? I hope you everybody like my session. You can drop a thumbs up if you like it, and any suggestions would be very appreciable. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed and it's worth investing your time. My time has been up and it was a pleasure meeting you all. Thank you everyone. Bye.